Hello, this is my lab report for Experiment 1. In this experiment, I investigated how observational data compares to computational data. I observed the motion of an object being pushed in the videos shown on screen. We are going to assume that speed is constant, and using tracking software, I was able to determine the initial and final position of the object as well as the amount of time it was moving for. I then computed a computer model of the object's motion. Consider the moving sphere to be the center of the object. As you can see, the object starts at negative 0.199 meters and ends at negative 0.02762 meters. The overall time was 0.13 seconds. Here is a comparison of the observed data and model data. You can see how other forces were acting on the observed object as the line is not straight. This experiment showcases that computer models are good for making approximate predictions, though they will not take into account other forces acting on the object. If I had flipped my horizontal axis when using the tracker, my velocity would have been in the opposite direction, though the magnitude would remain the same. The other forces acting on this object include friction, gravity, and normal force. These push and pull forces were not taken into account. If they had been, the computer model would be more accurate to the observed data. Here is the data from the two experiments. On the left, we have the data collected from the observation, and on the right, we have the data collected from the computer model. All data is measured in seconds and in meters. As you can see, for each experiment, the initial position was negative 0.199. And the final position was negative 0.02762. As the object began to move in the observation experiment, at 0.02 seconds, the position was negative 0.198. At 0.03 seconds, it was negative 0.195. At 0.05 seconds, it was negative 0.192. At 0.07 seconds, it was negative 0.189. At 0.08 seconds, it was negative 0.124. At 0.1 second, it was negative 0.07319. At 0.12 seconds, it was negative 0.043. At 0.13 seconds, it was negative 0.02762, as I said before. And on the right, with the computer model, after starting out at the initial position, it moved to negative 0.171 at 0.02 seconds. At 0.03 seconds, it was negative 0.157. At 0.05 seconds, it was negative 0.129, and so on. Down at the bottom, you can see the graph of the experiment, in which on the top in the red is the computer model data, and the blue curving line is the observed data. You can see from this graph how the forces acted on the real world object. Thank you for taking the time to watch my lab report.